The position, everything's great. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second. And we are about to go live. Here we go. Olá a todos, sejam bem-vindos. Estamos em mais uma edição do Smartus, entrevistando startups pelo mundo. E é com prazer que hoje convido o Franco, que já vou passar por inglês já, mas nesse momento falando muito rapidamente para aqueles que estão chegando aqui pelo primeiro momento. Meu nome é Guilherme, sou CEO da Smartus. A Smartus, para quem não conhece, é uma empresa que cria, consolida e distribui conteúdo e informações relevantes para o mercado imobiliário, especialmente em corporação, loteamentos, construção e investidores. Essa entrevista ela vai ser em inglês, portanto, vai ser gravada, e nós vamos colocar legendas em português para aqueles que querem nos assistir no Smartus Play. Então, lá no smartusplay.com.br você vai ter este vídeo com legendas, tá? Então, olá para você que nos assiste no Smartus Play. Convido a darem o like nessa live e se inscreverem no nosso canal para mais conteúdos e entrevistas como essa. Joia, nesse quadro Startups pelo Mundo, nós já entrevistamos mais de 15 startups, Alemanha, Estados Unidos, Dinamarca, Índia, Chile, UK, Argentina, México e muito mais. Tudo isso você encontra no smartusplay.com.br. Agora eu peço licença a vocês e vou trazer o nosso convidado à mesa e vou passar para o inglês. Hi, Franco. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation and for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Hi, Guilherme. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you. So, Franco, starting straight to the point, could you please tell about you and your experience, your background?
Yeah, definitely. So my experience in the construction industry, it started around 5 years ago when I started building Ipsum, the company, and the previous startup, which was the beginning for Ipsum. So I got a government grant with Startup Chile, and I built a startup focused on building a reputation system for workers, for laborers, right? So people working in construction companies, in mining companies, and that project led to what was Ipsum. We got into a couple of construction companies and we saw that there were bigger problems than, labor. They didn't have many information. They didn't plan at all. The scheduling was not very well done. So basically we saw that there was a big space and a big opportunity to build a software for planning a construction project more efficiently. And that's where I started in the construction industry. I'm not from the construction industry, but I fell in love with the industry. And I would say today it's what I do. I'm from the construction industry, even though I didn't study anything around that. So yeah.
That's excellent. And well, when you first created, I understand that the point that about the messy on the construction and the management side. So, but exactly what the problem you are trying to solve when you first create your company?
Yeah. So as you can see, construction projects, they're usually delayed. I would say more than 70% of the projects are delayed in an average of 3 to 4 months. And you can see those metrics in any industry report. So the basic problem that we're trying to solve is how can we build a product that is very robust for the people on site so they can, build a proper schedule, a proper plan, and do it throughout the entire life cycle of the project, but also is super easy for them to use it, right? So we build a SaaS for scheduling and planning construction projects from the beginning all the way to the end in an efficient way based on lean construction methodology. So if you go into a construction project, you will see that they would have, a schedule built on Microsoft Project or Primavera. They would have a BIM model on a Revit or, a Navisworks. They would have spreadsheets, humongous spreadsheets with information. And then they would have someone in the project doing presentations or reports or analytics. So what we did is we put all of that into one vertical and everything is connected. So you can connect your schedule with your weekly plan, with your quality checklist, with your BIM model, and everything makes automatic analytics and reports. So the problem that we're trying to solve is, allowing those people in a project to build a reliable schedule. That's our main focus.
It seems quite simple, but actually it's very
It's
hard to
not.
do.
It's not. It's really
Yeah,
hard.
it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if people want to buy something from you, what is exactly your product and solution?
The product and solution, our software is called Pro Planner. So it's a web and mobile based SaaS, software as a service, that has different modules. So we have a module for Gantt charts, so building your master plan. We have modules for building your weekly plan. So everything. If you talk about lean construction or last planner system, you know that you have your master plan, so your Gantt chart, your look ahead process where you analyze all your constraints, materials, RFIs, documents, whatever it is. And then you're going to have your weekly plan, which is what you're actually going to execute in this week. And then you're going to have modules for quality checklists, so you can build all your quality checklists in our software. The BIM module where you can import BIM files and connect it to the Gantt chart. And then we have all sorts of different add-ons like meetings, minutes, contractors, metrics, document managing, and a couple more. And then the analytics. So analytics for the project itself, analytics for the entire company, and then all the reports that are sent automatically via emails, and then you can download it from the platform.
Excellent. So you charge by user, or you charge by how do you charge it?
We have a pricing model is we charge a monthly fee per project. It's not by user, per project. Yeah. And it depends on the size of the project and the amount of projects that you're gonna upload into our software. We don't charge per user, and the reason is we want a project to be able to use the software throughout the entire project. So if you want the people from quality, from planning, scheduling, procurement, or whatever it is to use the software, we want to encourage that. Because when you're talking about collaborative platform, charging per user is not the best way to go, in my opinion, because construction companies, they usually have a very low budget for software. So they're gonna purchase less, less seats or less licenses if you charge per user. So I want to encourage them to be able to, for everyone to use the software. That's why we don't charge per user.
Yeah, sure. And that makes a lot of sense. And I know quite a few companies that's trying to solve the same problem that you. So what do you point as the key differentiation of your company? So what makes you different?
What makes us different? As a company, I would say we've been doing this for a while, and we were one of the first, construction tech startups in Latin America. So we've been around. We've done a couple of things. We've done, different products, test, iterated on those products. We work with a lot of companies in the region. So experience is one. Knowledge in the industry, like half of our team is from the construction industry. They've been doing this manually on site, and the rest are all, construction engineers. And the other part is all software engineers. So we have a combination of construction and software. So it's not like we are from the construction industry, but we don't know anything about software, or we are from the software industry, but we don't know anything about construction, which you see that a lot, especially here in the Bay Area. We have a combined knowledge of both, construction and software. So I think that's something very important for us. And as a product or as a company, what we're building, I would say, the lean construction approach is very important. Like everything we do, we're focusing on lean methodology and how can we do it easier? How can we reduce waste? How can we do it with, less people, etc. And also the data. The data is one of our main focus. So we're very focused on what's going on inside the project, in terms of data and analytics, what's happening, like what are the metrics, is it better than the last month? So everything that we do is revolving around how can we leverage that data and take a construction scheduling to the next level. That's our whole focus for now and the long run.
Ah, nice. And is there any specific tool that you'd like to share in terms of that you still don't have, but you are looking for in terms of development?
I mean, I shouldn't say this because it's kind of
No, no,
it's
no.
kind of on stealth
Go in
mode.
a broader way. Sorry. Yeah, but
It's
go in
kind
a
of on
broader way.
stealth mode. Right now, we're working on a new version that's going to come out in the next months or so, which is focused on, like I said, how can we leverage that data? So today we have a SaaS, right? And the software gathers a lot of information on progress, on productivity, on performance from different types of projects. We have buildings, we have industrial plants, we have mining projects, we have commercial projects, shopping malls, offices, roads. We have all sorts of kind of projects. So all that data that we have, we're working on a new version on how can we leverage that data and take it to the next level by using, AI and machine learning. So that's something that we've been working for a while, and we're redesigning everything in terms of the platform, usability, user experience, analytics. So that's all I can say. But I think that's going to get a lot of construction folks very excited because it's something that the industry has been wanting for a long time. So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great for the industry.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And in which countries do you work currently, and where do you plan to take your business in the future?
So today we have our main office is in Chile because that's where we started. We have a small office in Peru, and we sell to the entire region, like from Mexico down. So we started with Latin America because we saw that there was nothing there, and Latin American construction companies are a little bit behind in terms of technology adoption. So we started in Latin America. So our focus was Chile, Peru, Mexico, and Colombia. Brazil is a different giant. So we left Brazil, for a second stage. But that's our first focus. And right now with the new platform and everything that we're building, we're going to focus on the US. Like everything is going to be focused on the US and to keep growing Latin America. But today we have, like I said, operations in 2 countries with a goal of expanding to Colombia, Mexico, and the US. And we're selling in around 10 countries in the region. So from Mexico to Chile, around 10 countries.
Yeah, interesting. And well, I saw that you might be, your platform must cut costs and improve the efficiency of your clients. So in this sense, I'd like you to share a history with a successful case of a client of yours that is happy with your platform and that could improve their performance.
Oof. So I'm not sure if I can mention names.
No problem.
We've been working on a couple of success cases, in different industries. I would say one of the cases that I usually share, because it's been great. It's a company in Chile that it's not a GC, it's an owner. And they're the ones providing electricity to like 80% of the country, right? So this is a company, providing electricity for most of the country, and they work with a lot of GCs and subs, right? And the platform is being used by all the subs and is being managed by them as an owner, all the analytics, the reports, and all that. So I usually mention them as a success case because it's super interesting that an owner, got the platform for their subs so they can use it, to be more efficient, so they can have better communication, better collaboration on site. And then they would be the ones, analyzing how the project is going, all the analytics, if it's delayed or not, what are the main problems. So it's a usage that is very interesting, and we're trying to do that more often with other owners and GCs, because the fact that an owner of the project is collaborating with the GC and the subs and the trades in one platform with total transparency, I think that's in itself a success case.
Yeah. Yes, definitely, yes, for sure. Well, and in terms of the moment of of your startup, what are you looking for at this moment?
What are we looking for?
In terms of investments, for example, in expansion, consolidation, growth.
So expansion first. Expansion, like I said, our whole focus now is keep growing in Latin America. So our focus obviously keep growing in Latin America and become, top player and take the company to the US. There's a huge market here. There's a lot of opportunities. Construction companies are more, more ahead, so they want to adopt technology faster. So that's in terms of growth. America. We're not thinking about Europe. We're not thinking about Asia, even though we have a couple clients in Asia. We're thinking about America. And in terms of investment, right now we're raising a C2 round. So we've raised a C round in the past couple of years ago, and right now we're raising an extension round for that C round in the US mainly, and hopefully, with a combination between a strategic, so some VC or CVC from the industry that knows about construction, and also a financial VC that knows about, startup growth and SaaS. And so that's what we're looking for right now. I'm not sure if I can say the amount of the investment, but that's where we're at the moment.
No, excellent. So, how many people works for Ipsum at this moment?
Right now we're around 20.
20, and that's nice. It's nice to grow lean. So not so many people. So if you
exactly, we were more in the past, but sometimes when you start getting more lean and more efficient, you realize that with a proper team of 20 people, you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, maybe more than 25 sometimes. Yeah. Well, so, in terms of the real estate industry, well, it's seen as a conservative in relation to other sectors. And do you think that it also happens in Chile and Peru and the places that you currently work in?
I mean, yeah. The thing about construction industry or real estate is a little bit more ahead. Like you see a lot of, real estate startups, and it's a little bit faster. But construction industry is very conservative. It's very old fashioned, and we've seen a big change in the last couple of years. Like when we started, it was so hard, man. It was so hard to get a construction company to adopt software, to think about software. And in the last couple of years, that's been changing. That's been changing a lot. You see a lot of construction companies that wouldn't pay attention to you at the beginning, now asking for software, or, looking at platforms in the US. Like I've seen a lot of companies in Chile right now adopting software products from the US. So that didn't happen before, which is pretty exciting, because if you look at the technology adoption curve, like we're still in the early adopters, innovators, or whatever. We haven't got to that maturity point from the industry. So I think it's very, very important that we keep going that way. And once the construction industry get to a maturity point of technology adoption, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge because it's one of the biggest industries in the world, right?
Definitely.
And I think
the base of the development,
base of the economy, one of the basics of the economy. And this COVID crisis and everything helped, the technology adoption, move a little faster, because companies are like, oh, we can go on the project. Like we need to know what's going on there. So you see companies like Struction Site that they have, 360 imaging, or companies with VR, or even project management softwares. They are more wanted today than before, because they need that.
Yeah, that's one question that I would make to you. So but by one side, it is very conservative, as you mentioned, and the other side, it's being pushed not only by the COVID, that actually accelerated this.
That accelerated, yeah.
Yeah. So in this sense, for example, I usually talk to people that 3D printing. As today, I have an interview about the 3D printing, IoT, and other technologies. But maybe sometimes it's a very high technology, because that kind of technology would change the process, would change everything in the company. But your platform, actually, they can think smarter on what they actually do. So
yeah.
Do you think that in this sense you might face not so many troubles, or not so many friction to get inside this and in the comparing to other types of
I
startups
mean,
or
there's always friction, right?
yeah,
I get what you're saying, that when you talk about like super innovative technology or something that
yeah,
is very, yeah, they're going to face more friction. Like if you're talking about, automatic robots that go inside and upload status of the project and all that, you see that today, but you see that in like very tiny percentage, and they're going to take a little bit longer. And software like ours, which is easy to deploy and all that, is going to experiment less friction. But there's still friction. There's still friction because you're changing the way they've been working for a long time, right? And construction people on site are usually older. Like I don't know the number on the top of my head, but I think age ranges are a little bit older. So try to change that technology adoption it's hard, even for a software like ours. It's not like
yeah,
I always say the same thing. If you're selling software for the startup industry, like for startup founders, adoption is like this quick
yeah,
because you have power users, you have people that are using software on a daily basis. Like as a company, if we want to adopt software, it takes a week. Like we just moved our project management platform and it took like a couple days to set it up and then a week to get on board. That's it. Right?
yeah.
Construction company takes a couple of months. So yeah,
Oh, to sign the couple of months to sign the contract, right?
to send the contract and then start talking. No, but
Yeah.
there's friction still.
Yeah, and so have you faced so the clients that have adopted your platform? Do you think that they might see other technologies with a better eyes in terms of, well, maybe the experience that might be having with your products may open their eyes to new kind of partnerships and new kind of
Oh yeah.
solutions? Do you think that so? In this sense, so if it's true, you actually are doing a very important role on the transformation of the construction sector.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. To give you an example, like recently, one of our clients, it's a very important company in Chile. They they're using our software, right? And they wanted to add, another input of information. Um, so now they want another software for, I don't know, how do you call it? Like assistance. So to control assistance on all the workers on site, and they want to integrate it with our software. So you start opening up their appetite for more technology, more inputs, and but if I bring this to your platform, like we can actually get this KPI. Oh, that sounds interesting, right? So you start connecting different platforms, and they want more as they go. But for now, yeah, we're just focusing on our part. How can they do it, 100%? And then it's like, okay, now that you managed to, you know this very well, let's start bringing, more inputs, more software. But definitely it opens up the appetite for more solutions. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'd like to know, talking about partnerships for on your perspective, what types of partnerships or collaborations do you think that are the most sustainable for both big corps and like this one and small and medium-sized companies?
Partnerships. I think there's many parts for that question, but I think there's a need for big organizations in the industry to start opening up a little bit and allowing startups to develop easier and faster. Like if you're talking about construction chambers, the Chilean construction chamber, the Peruvian construction chamber, they're still very old school in a sense. Like I love them. I'm not gonna say anything bad about them, but they're still very, old school. So I think there's definitely a space for them to start helping construction startups to, innovate and to have more resources. Also construction companies as well, like they have to be more open, not only to, use software or hire software companies, but also to, co-develop with them or, collaborate with them. Like, oh, let me give you this pilot project so you can test this, this software, and then we can start working on this together. But there's usually like, oh, but if we work on it together, then I don't know, am I going to have a discount forever? Like, they usually want to get something more out of it. So definitely there's more space for organizations to allow startups to grow and develop, and for construction companies as well. And the other part of the thing is there needs to be more investment in construction tech startups. Like, you see a lot of VC funds that are coming out right now, but there needs to be more CVCs. So companies that are like, oh, I'm going to open this investment arm so we can invest in new technologies. You see that today, but not enough as other industries.
Yeah, sure. And I have one last question for you, Franco.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you brought your crystal ball, but I'd like to know what will happen, in your opinion, to the real estate industry after COVID-19.
Oof. Let me
Yeah.
give me a second. After COVID-19, I'm not 100% sure, but I would think that the construction companies or the industry in general understands that they need to get on board with this. And not only like, oh yeah, we need to get on board with technology, like they usually say, like it's a catchphrase. Like, they really, really, really need to get on board with this, right? They really need to leverage technology and allow technology and technology companies to do their part. Like, and stop being like, oh, we're gonna develop this ourselves, or we're gonna keep working the way we're doing it. Like, open up whatever it is you want to improve, allow other companies to help you in that process, and be collaborative enough to test, iterate, work with them, improve this. So construction people are very impatient, right? They want this now, and it has to be like a good price. And if it doesn't work on day 2, like, I'm out. And there needs to be more collaboration. But I think they're gonna adopt way more technology now.
Yeah,
that's what I think. And the future, it's not only, I usually talk about software, but software is like a tiny part of construction innovation or technology. Prefab is going to be huge. I'm not predicting anything new. Like, everyone knows that prefab is going to be huge, but the fact that prefab allows you to build something in a plan with a very controlled space, and you don't even have to have like 500 people in that plant. Like, it can be very automated. That itself for a company today would be like, oh, we can have many people on site, right? Because it's risky. There's going to be diseases, like contagious or whatever. This is a very efficient way to go, especially for projects that are able to do that faster. I don't know, hotels or residential buildings. For other types of projects, maybe that's going to be more in the long run. But definitely more technology adoption, more, a faster path to prefabrication. And I think the fact that 5G is already coming out, and this is apart from COVID, but the fact that 5G is already coming out, I mean, in the US, they're talking about 5G, like, it's out. That's going to change the entire construction setup. Like, you're going to have connections between, I don't know, materials. They're going to have like RFIDs, and that's going to be connected to a software, and they're going to have it on the mobile app immediately. They're going to, the machinery is going to move, and you're going to know. The BIM model is going to be automatically updated on every surface. So I don't know, there's going to be so much more speed and information that I think 5G is going to be a game changer for the construction industry.
Amazing. Well, I enjoy very much about our chat, and I'm impressed by your very mature point of view of the real estate industry, and you're in the forecast as well. So that's really nice. And Franco,
Appreciate the interview. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's